Hello, Internet.
Wait. I thought we said we were going to do hi, Internet.
Why would I say hi? I always say hello.
I know, but this isn't the show. This is a commercial for the show. I thought we said we were going to do it different.
I always say hello, Rod.
You all right, fine. Say it whatever way you want to, Chris. It doesn't matter what I say anyway.
Hello, Internet.
You did, fine. You got your hello in. And now I'm Rod Morgan. You can listen to us on Balls and Brew, where we'll argue about many things, even more inane than what you just heard us argue about there. I promise. Right here on the Morgan Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the Morgan You Know's podcasting network. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Rod. Rod, what are you hot about today?
I'll tell you what I'm actually hot about today, Jim. I'm just going to get you fired up right off the jump. We're just going to get contentious going right now. I have a brand new wrestler to put on notice, and I really don't think you're going to be happy about it.
Go right ahead. Who's on notice, Rod?
All right, so we had Hit Row on notice. I went ahead and just moved them off of notice and just completely moved them into I do not care about category. It did not take long for them to get there. And the new person,
I don't care now.
Exactly.
Okay.
The new person on notice, Jimmy. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to do this to you, but it's Johnny Gargano.
Get the fuck out of here.
How? He's so small. How am I supposed to believe that guy
Oh
can
my
beat
Jesus.
anybody?
Easy, Vince.
He's the smallest guy I've ever seen cut promos in the WWE, not named Rey Mysterio. How am I supposed to believe
He is
this
an
guy
amazing
can beat
in-ring
anybody?
talent. He's going against Theory. Theory's nothing special.
Theory looks like a wrestler to me. I mean, maybe when this guy's
Johnny
shirt off
Gargano's
and he's
wearing
all stacked
clothes,
up,
so
but
calm
I'm just
down.
telling you right now, Jim, he's
Oh,
on
dear
notice
Christ.
for me.
Oh, my Lord in heaven. Apparently you've never watched Johnny Gargano wrestle before.
I definitely haven't, and that's why
Okay.
I could be proven dead wrong
So
here,
you
but
could watch one of his 500 matches that he had against Tommaso Ciampa or anybody else in NXT, and you will have a different thought.
My
The
guy Ciampa?
crowd is behind him. Fantastic in-ring performer. Yeah, he's small, got a great physique, but who cares? I mean, you know what? If he's small, don't put him against Big Show. Put him against other people his size. It's very, very easy.
But if he wants to be a big guy in the company, how's he ever going to fight Drew McIntyre? How's he ever going to fight the Tribal Chief? How's he ever going to fight Riddle? You know what I mean? Like, these guys are huge.
Oh yeah, but then he'll make up for that with his in-ring performance, just like Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's wasn't huge.
Daniel Bryan seems bigger to me than Johnny Gargano.
He's bigger, but he's not that much bigger.
Johnny Gargano just seems like
Johnny
the smallest
Gargano's
guy
a
I've
lot
ever seen
more.
wrestle.
Johnny Gargano is a lot leaner and more muscular than Daniel. I'm dropping stuff on my desk, dude.
I told
got
you
me
would
going.
be happy.
You know what? What am I hot about today? I'm hot about the fact that he had an amazing debut. He had the interviews. I like what they're doing. They're not doing everything in the ring. You know, this interview on Raw was kind of like a behind the scenes type thing.
But it made him
okay.
seem cheap to me, Jim. Let me jump in there real quick. Made him seem cheap to me. They're like, hey, bud, we're just going to talk to you in the empty seats before we actually tape the show. This is how big of a deal you are.
You're going to see a lot more of that, and I kind of like that, just to kind of get it pre-taped, get it taken care of, get to your point quickly, and then move on. And he and Theory, oh, by the way, Austin Theory's back. Austin, first names, Matt Riddle, Austin Theory, gotta love it, don't you?
Yeah, I don't know if I like Matt Riddle. I'm fine with Austin Theory, but I don't know if I
my
want
God,
to
his
call him
name is Matt.
Riddle. I don't
His
care.
name
I don't know
is
if I
Matt.
want to call him that. You can't make me, Jimmy. I'm going to call him whatever I want to call him.
I will make you call him. Well, welcome to the show. We're starting off on a great note here. We have a lot going on in WWE and also AEW, but we're actually taping on the night that Jon Moxley just announced he has an open contract for the show this weekend. So we don't know what's going to happen. Some people think it's CM Punk. We're not going to speculate right now because by the time you hear it, we probably already know who that is. But we do, Rod, have a Raw to talk about, and we also have Clash at the Castle, and we've got picks throughout the Morgan You Know's universe. So a lot to go on here, don't we?
We sure do. I'm really excited to start this new fantasy booking challenge, right? I want to get a couple of pay-per-views under our belt where me, you, Chris, and Mark all pick. And by the time we get after Survivor Series here, you know what I mean, heading into Royal Rumble, we'll see who's got a lead and who doesn't. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting angle.
Okay, so Raw this week emanated from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Rod, the Pittsburgh crowd has always been, historically, every time, a very bad crowd. They don't really get involved as much unless Kurt Angle is involved. But you kind of saw that here. The crowd was quiet for a lot of the night, except for a little bit of Kurt Angle here. But even that went on a little too far. And that just kind of slows the show down a little bit, in my opinion. Did you notice that?
Yeah, and they were really whatting somebody as well who I thought was in the ring doing something that I sort of wanted to hear, and they were just getting whatted every 15, 20 seconds. So there they were, not really being the hype that we wanted to be, and then being annoying during a talking segment, which you've spoken about this the last couple of weeks. Those have really come down in frequency.
Yeah.
So I think we should all just calm down a little bit and just let the stuff get spewed out into the ring, and then we'll move on. The more you guys keep screaming what, the longer the situation is going to take.
Well, and it's that culture change, because now in-ring interviews will mean more, because it's not going to start the show for 30 minutes every day, every Monday. That's great, but it's that time, the culture change that has to go, and that could be a year. That could be a year and a half before that changes. So we've got some time for what's. Believe me, we do.
I know that you were way more sick of them than I am because you've been watching for longer than I have, and you said it's a scourge on wrestling since it was invented, but man, it really drives me up the wall. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you guys expect? Not every storyline is going to be for you. So just shut up for a second, let them finish this one on, and we'll get to the next match.
Kurt Angle was back. He did a couple vignettes there with your boys. You love American Alpha. He drank some milk. It was fine. They didn't make him look horrible like they usually do with stars in their hometown. He did an homage to a skit that he and Edge did a very long time ago. So I thought that was fine. I thought Angle coming back was nice to see him. He looked like he was ready to wrestle, a little nervous about that. But I think it was really nice to see Angle back.
Yeah, he did look like he was ready to wrestle, and I was like, oh, no, because then he was kind of moving around like a lot of old wrestlers move around, and I was like, please, God, let's not have him get involved in any action here, and he did not. But here's what I want to ask you, Jimmy.
Sure.
What does it mean for our boys, the Street Profits, that at this current moment they're messing around with Maximum Male Models, Hit Row, and the Alpha Academy?
It's not their time. It really isn't. They've got to do something, because the Usos have their own main event angle going, and then you have the New Day and the Viking Raiders going in that direction. So right now there's really not a place for them. So we still want them on the show. We still want to get them seen. That's why you put them in with Angle. That's why you put them on main event sometimes. But really they're not. They had their time. They had their 15 matches for the title. We're going to move on, and they'll come back here, and you're going to get a great match out of them.
What I wonder as well is, we've talked many times about what Montez is going to be as a singles performer, and we've also talked that now we're not as down on Angelo, the solo performer. Here's what I wonder, though. Could we get back to Montez, Seth Rollins, and then can we work out one of the greatest mixed tag team matches in WWE history when we have Bianca and Montez take on Seth and Becky someday, Jimmy? That's what I'd love to see.
That will main event a pay-per-view in either late 2023, early 2024. Probably with Becky's injury, 2024. I can easily see that main eventing a pay-per-view to set up then the singles titles at the next pay-per-view. I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely, because I just think that, like, we know that Seth and Becky are married, and you say to me that they've had a couple of angles before, but, like, we're not explicitly having them together right now, and I think that that's a door that Triple H can open at some point if he wants to, and it really just basically raises the profile of both Seth and Becky, as if they need much more of it, but, every little bit.
Two of the best workers in the company. Yeah, let's go higher. I like that, though. But yeah, that is definitely a door that they can open. They opened it a little bit, like we talked about before. Didn't really do too much for us, but a face Seth and a face Becky would look pretty good against heel Bianca and heel Montez, which a lot of things have to change, which is why you give it about a year or so.
Oh, wow. Now my mind is going crazy. What would heel Bianca even be like?
It's the EST. I mean, you take everything that she does now, but make her cocky, and it's a heel. She's got a terrific. It's kind of like what the Miz would be if he was any good in the ring, because the Miz, awesome. Can you imagine if people loved him? And they tried to do a little bit of face stuff with him, and it never really worked. But can you imagine what the crowd would do saying that I'm the Miz and the entire crowd goes awesome? Same exact thing with Bianca when she goes heel. So yeah, it's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, I guess basically she just stopped smiling all the time and stopped twirling her hair and skipping around, and then she's basically heel. So yeah, you're onto something there.
Yeah. Speaking of the Miz, he's alive. He was kidnapped. Things happened to him. He is now seeing Dexter Lumis everywhere, but no one else can see him except for the audience. We can see him, so that's kind of weird. But I'm not totally out on it yet. But
he was in the back of the Miz's car, right? That was at the end of Raw when Miz got in and Ciampa was all like, "Are you okay?" And then he was in the back of Miz's car, was he not?
Oh yeah, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. So
where are we going with this, Jim? I mean, is this to try to get the Miz over? Is this to try to get heat to Dexter Lumis? Where are we going with this?
I think it's to get heat to Dexter Lumis. But is he? So he's kidnapping people. Last time I checked, let me look here. Let me look. Kidnappers, face or heel, face or kidnappers should probably be heels. So, but if you're kidnapping the Miz, you're going to be a face. So I really don't understand where they're going with this either. So we'll see. We're going to talk a little bit about some other storylines here. So right now I am in we've got a new regime in. Let's see what happens. If this storyline was happening 6 months ago, I would have said, oh, this is what's going to happen, and it's ridiculously stupid. So we've got to give people some time now to see what happens.
What do you think my guy Ciampa, though, is thinking to himself? Where he's like, man, here I am mixed up in the middle of this Dexter Lumis kidnapping the Miz feud. Whatever happened to me? I had a banger with Bobby Lashley a couple weeks ago.
So Ciampa right now is in that we got to get through this storyline, and then I can move on to something else stage. So it's going to be a little bit, but he is going to continue to rise in there. And going back to Johnny Gargano real quick, he and Ciampa are the same size, which helps a lot when they're in the ring together because you don't notice the height difference. So, you did have some valid points in your horrendous take that you do need to have some kind of there is that disparity can hurt a lot, the realism of it.
I can't wait till my boy Ciampa just absolutely wears out your guy Johnny Wrestling.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, hey, if they are in the ring together, whatever happens is great.
Can I have one more Ciampa question before we move on?
Yeah, sure.
The yellow jacket mess that he's wearing right now, is that always been his deal, or is he kind of doing that right now because he's mixed up with the Miz? Because it doesn't look right on him.
Oh yeah, Miz stuff. He's usually like a darker type of character.
All right.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't look right on him at this point.
It depends if he's a face or a heel too. So I mean that kind of depends there.
Well, he's with the Miz right now, so he's definitely working heel.
KO. Main event Jey Uso. Dude, let me tell you, they are having some matches. I think Kevin Owens is having a blast, although some of those are pretty hard hits, but he is doing exactly what he wants to do. He's being a badass, and he's going to be someone who's going to face Reigns very, very soon.
Does he? I mean, do we have him do something at Clash at the Castle? I mean, are we going to insert him there and just bring absolute chaos, or do you think he's not even taking the trip across seas?
Well, so we have Drew McIntyre against Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns has the Usos with him. And Sami Zayn, correct?
The honorary Us.
So Drew McIntyre, who got literally just beaten to a pulp on SmackDown, needs a little backup. So what if we have Kevin Owens back him up? But wait a minute. It's 4 on 2. Does Sami Zayn help Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre out on Saturday? I don't know. Ooh. That'd be interesting.
Well, Sami Zayn was on Twitter today clarifying that the only reason he didn't hit Kevin Owens is because he didn't want Jey Uso to get disqualified, and he knew the ref was looking at him.
I love Sami Zayn so much. He's
amazing. Like when he first started doing this locker room leader, wearing the Bloodline t-shirt, honorary Us stuff, I don't know if you were like me, but I was like, okay, this is fun for a little while. But for it to pay off and where we're at right now is absolutely amazing.
You're learning that Sami Zayn takes everything to the next level and does a great job. Remember, he had a match with Johnny Knoxville that was one of the higher rated matches on WrestleMania.
It was incredible. It was a great match. One of my more favorite memories of WrestleMania not involving the rattlesnake.
It involved a lot of stuff, but not a rattlesnake. Thank goodness. So, and then we had our main event where we had Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah defeating Kai and Sky in the exact same finish that every single match in this tournament had. This is the one, Rod, where I'm sitting back and saying, all right, Paul, what's going on here? Because you kind of hurt Kai and Sky there. Now, are they going to get their win back at Clash? Maybe. Are Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah going to be a formidable tag team? Are they going to actually be a tag team? Are they going to get some wins and some TV time moving forward? Looks like they will. They're on notice. I'm going to put somebody on notice.
Nice.
Rod.
You can put them on notice all you want. Here's what I say about that squash ending, right? That squash ending, they attempted to try to save face with everybody a little bit, right?
Yeah.
They wanted Kai and Sky to kind of lose, but not necessarily lose. They wanted Raquel Rodriguez to continue being a badass. They wanted Aaliyah to look smart, I guess. But here's the problem. The last
when
two
you do
matches,
all that, it doesn't work because you're trying too hard. Yeah.
And Aaliyah's also basically just hanging out on the outside of the ring, letting Raquel Rodriguez fight 2-on-1.
She has been in developmental for a very long time. She's got a good look.
Clearly.
But there's got to be more. There's got to be more.
I don't think they send a female out to the ring in less clothes than Aaliyah. So definitely they enjoy her for her look. But man, they make her look so bad where she just gets one move done against her on the outside and she's hanging out there for 7 minutes. Right? Raquel Rodriguez is fighting 2-on-1 and holding her own because we're supposed to be afraid of the Amazon Raquel Rodriguez, and that's fine, I guess. Like, I'm interested in her a little bit. I like that we brought some shine back to the women's tag team belts because at one time, another one of my crazy takes was we needed a second women's tag team champion.
You think Gargano was bad.
Right. But here's what I will say, Jim. I think what we're doing here is we're setting up some pushovers for Sasha and Naomi to come back and walk over and get their belts back immediately. That's what I think is going on here.
See, and that's the thing that just confuses me because to bring them back to go for the titles, you want them to go against Kai and Sky instead of Rodriguez and Aaliyah. So what I would like to see is Rodriguez and Aaliyah next week, non-title match, go against 2 of the 3 people that Bianca and her crew beat up on Raw. Just, have them face those types of people in non-title matches, eventually go to a Doudrop and Nikki ASH, get a win there. We want them to win a lot before they have a big feud.
Not so fast on Doudrop and Nikki ASH. Remember, we had the pantomime fight going on behind a shot there. I'm sure those two are ripe for a breakup here soon.
Who knows? We'll see what happens there.
Just take the mask off of Nikki ASH already, all right? The superhero gimmick's not working anymore. Just let's put her back to being whatever she was before.
Nikki.
There you go. Put her back to that. Or 2 names, apparently, because as you talked about earlier in this podcast, we're doing 2 names now.
All right, so we'll kind of end with this on Raw, and then we're going to get into our picks, Clash at the Castle. Rollins and Riddle had a very interesting war of words. Whenever you go real life with something, it's kind of strange in wrestling. But Rollins, and I kind of love how they did it. So obviously, Rollins and Riddle went back and forth. He said, "There's only one man in your family. It's Becky," which I thought was a good line. But then when they went to commercial break, they went back and forth again, and they had a legitimate yelling, screaming match. Rollins brought in Riddle's wife and how she divorced him, and the kids don't want to see him. Riddle threw some FUs in there. They showed all this. I love the realism. I think that's something that we need a little bit more. I'm interested in your take. So is this meshing the line of reality and story too much?
Listen, I'm not going to come on here and say a bad word about my guy Seth Rollins, as you know, but I've got to admit, man, when they showed that clip and Seth dropped that line, like, my spine just recoiled a little bit because I was like, that little bit left in the pit of my stomach for the guy who used to like Riddle before he got involved in a feud with my guy. I was like, man, that's low, man, because Riddle's line, okay, sure, good line, fine, but it's also awfully misogynistic, awfully corny, awfully,
Well, it's storyline related too. Right, she was literally called the man. So,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
But still, I just, and then for Seth to do that, I was like, man, I get it. You're the visionary. You're the revolutionary. I'm not going to say a bad word about you, Seth, but man, I didn't like it much. And bummer to Matt Riddle if his wife divorced him and his kids don't want to see him, man. Bummer to him. But I guess that's what happens when you have to work 300 days a year.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on with Riddle and behind the scenes. So that's interesting. We'll see what happens there.
Riddle had to sign off on it, though. I do want to say that. Riddle had to sign off on it.
100%.
He was fine with it. Don't
100%.
Riddle just went off script here.
And no, not at all. And that was exactly what it should have been as far as the script goes. And obviously you saw the emotion in there because he was probably very angry at the whole thing, and it really helped play into that. So we're going to talk Clash at the Castle now. So we have our newly kind of there's 4 of us that are going to be making our picks. And Mark and Chris are not on right now, so we will kind of tell everybody what they picked. But we are going to keep track. We're going to see who the best booker is. Of course, that will probably be Chris because that's how it's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Mark, lifelong wrestling fan, been watching it for almost as long as you, if not longer than you and I, because he's got us by a couple of years. And then Chris, who's only just recently back. Yeah, you're right. He'll be the best booker.
So we have Clash at the Castle, a match that was just announced. Rey Mysterio and Edge versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Rod, who do Mark and Chris have for this one?
They both are wrong in this particular one.
Oh,
good. They both have Edge and Rey Mysterio winning this, and I believe you and I are going to be on the right side of this, because to me, there's no point in Judgment Day if they continue to lose. So,
yeah, I mean, it's nice that Rhea Ripley's a badass, but she hasn't done anything recently, and the only way for this to continue on when we get Beth Phoenix involved is to have another win or a win by Finn Balor and Damian Priest. So we both picked that. Is Dominic finally going to churn? Is Dominic going bad?
Well, Mark thinks that that's definitely happening, so we could talk about maybe giving him a bonus point if that does happen. I, at this point, am sick of predicting that that's going to happen. I believe I've probably said that on 4 different Mysterio matches, so I'm just going to refrain at this point. I'll let you decide if you think he's going to here.
Okay, he's not going to turn full heel, but something will happen that he accidentally costs Rey and Edge the match.
Ah, the old accidental schmaz.
Yes, it's the accidental.
Okay, I like that. That's good. I think you're going to get points for that.
Something that will not be accidental is the carnage that Gunther and Sheamus will do to each other. They are going to kill each other, and it's going to be an amazing match, and Gunther is going to retain the championship. And I like to say the word Gunther.
You do like to say the word Gunther all of a sudden, because you used to just call him by his old NXT name. You refused to even call him
it's
Gunther.
Walter. His name's Walter, but if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. So.
Over or under Sheamus's entire torso being beat red by the end of the match?
Oh, his entire body will be red. He will go through the tanning bed. Mark also thinks that Gunther was going to win, and then Chris thinks Sheamus is going to win, and I'm going to tell you that would shock me more than anything I've seen in a very long time if Gunther loses this one.
Well, here's my deal, man. Sheamus doesn't need to win, all right? Sheamus is over. Sheamus is a trusted hand. Sheamus has a good gimmick. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to continue to be Sheamus. Gunther needs a resume piece at this point, all right? And so beating a guy like Sheamus, I understand you're telling us this angle about Sheamus wanting to be Intercontinental Champion and this Grand Slam deal and all the, the resume building. That's fine. Sheamus isn't going anywhere for a little while. He's got another shot at the Intercontinental Championship. Gunther right now needs a win on his resume that isn't Shinsuke or Ricochet. It needs to be a guy like Sheamus. He gets it here. And I believe, Jimmy, this may very well end up being the match of the night if you're into a hard-hitting style, because these guys aren't going to be coming off of the top rope with moonsaults and Hurricane Ranas, but they're going to be absolutely wearing each other out.
You will not see a Hurricane Rana in this match. You're going to see one from Sheamus. Exactly. This is going to be a hard-hitting match. It's going to be something different. It's going to be completely different than anything else on the show. We are definitely going to see a Walter match here. So I really think that people are going to enjoy it, especially compared to some of the other matches that are going to be on the show.
I'm excited for it. You know me. I've been all in on the Ring General. I think it's a good gimmick. I like that we have a heel with the Intercontinental belt. I love the heel that I'm just better than everybody and I'm not even going to deign talking sometimes. I dig that. Gunther does it well.
We have the Party Crashers against Bianca, Alexa, and Asuka. If the Party Crashers don't win this, I don't know what's going on. I think Bayley should actually get the pin on Bianca to set up a feud moving forward. I think the Party Crashers get this one.
I'm with you. I got Party Crashers winning this one as well. The same exact thing that you just said. Bianca Belair basically never loses. So the only way that she can lose is in a 3-way match like this and a schmaz and maybe set her up with a feud with Bayley, who she was going to have a really good match with before Bayley hurt herself and was out for a year. So I think you're absolutely onto something there. And I love that we are still saying Party Crashers on this podcast because it's a much better name than whatever name they haven't even come up with.
They've had 4 different names for them, yeah. Belair, Bliss, and Asuka, Mark's got them winning. A trade-off for knocking them out at the tag team tourney. And unfortunately, Chris agrees with us that Bianca Belair's team loses to that new trio and the 6-women tag.
Here's the question I want to ask you. Does Mark already get like a half a point because he called that Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah were going to beat them in that tag match on Raw? Because I certainly didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah, he may get a half a point for that. That's not too bad there for him.
Here's my only question now, Jimmy, that I have for basically any time there is a female match, and I will ask this same question as well for the next female match we talk about. Does my girl Charlotte Flair get involved?
No, not even close. But thank you.
Listen, she's still number one on Pop Watch, all right? Pop Watch is still the same as last week. Charlotte Flair at
Norton.
1, Big E at 2, Randy Orton at 3. There was some Randy Orton trending on Twitter today, though. Apparently he popped on Instagram. Looked pretty good sitting there in his kitchen.
He commented on Lashley's breasts, so that's kind of neat.
Right.
We have Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We have, I believe Mark said that Baszler is going to win. We had Chris saying that Liv Morgan's going to win. I'm going to agree with Chris again, and I'm not really feeling good about it. I think Liv wins. I think she does. I don't know. What do you think?
All right, I'm going with the Cleveland Crippler right here, Big Mark Allen. I'm going with Shayna Baszler because Mark has been really after that we need to get a Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey feud going. We saw Baszler approach Ronda when Ronda was getting hauled out, saying, "What are you doing? What are you up to?" Ronda's arrested. We're still having her pop up. I don't think she's going to be all the way over in Wales because Ronda just doesn't have to do anything she doesn't really want to do. But
Sure.
I think Liv is going to lose here because it pains me to say this about my second, third cousin, great aunt, whatever we want to call her. She has not really beat anybody since she won that belt. She's basically just existed to get whipped around.
Yep.
So I really think that we're trying to build Shayna Baszler back up here. We're trying to feed her to Ronda Rousey. I got Baszler winning, Jimmy, but it kills me. It's my girl Liv Morgan. I was so excited to see her win, but it pains me. But I also have to ask the question that I asked last time. Does Charlotte get involved here?
No chance, but thank you again, Rod. I love the setup that they've been doing for this. I don't know if you've noticed on Instagram, but Riddle and Liv Morgan were working on reversing Shayna Baszler's finisher. And they had this whole thing that they were working in the ring on it. And then Baszler and Rousey were working on countering Liv's finisher. So it was really cool. If you go on their Instagrams, they talk about how they're going to reverse it and some things you can do. They're practicing it in the ring. It's pretty neat. I like that a lot. I really wish they'd show that on TV more.
What are the chances I see Baszler come down to the ring in like a new sprucey getup, right? Like we're trying to put a new sheen on her. Is she still going to wear the same old crap?
I know you really want her to wear a dress and makeup, but that's not going to happen.
I don't know dress and makeup, Jimmy, but just something that looks a little better than what they have her in.
But no, I think Baszler's going to come. I mean, she might come in something new, but it's going to be basically the same. The main event in your eyes, Riddle, Rollins. I think this is going 20 minutes. I think this is going to be an amazing matchup. And I think this is going to be hard hitting. There's going to be blood. There's going to be kendo sticks. There's going to be tables. There's going to be a lot of stuff. And I think Rollins wins.
What is the Cleveland Crippler and Chris have?
He has Riddle wins barely, but Rollins tries to beat up Riddle afterwards, but is RKO'd by the returning Randy Orton. Chris also says Rollins is beating Riddle. I'm losing. Oh, this is ridiculous.
I've got Rollins over Riddle as well. Yeah, shocking out of me that I'm picking my guy Rollins. But here's the deal. I got to believe they're heating him up for Roman at this point, right? And Riddle is so over that a loss doesn't really hurt him. It really doesn't. So, I mean, Rollins has basically just existed to lose unless he's fighting a street profit recently. So hopefully he can get this win over Riddle and we heat him up towards maybe taking on the Tribal Chief or Drew, or I don't know. We'll have to talk about that match here in a second. But I think we're heating up my guy, Seth freaking Rollins, for another run at the title.
Both of our correspondents, Chris and Mark, have McIntyre beating Roman Reigns. This was the hardest one for me to pick, Rod. What do you think? Who's going to win?
All day long I was thinking about this, and I literally said this to the Mrs. Morganino right before we taped. Every time you and I have done one of these predictions before a premium live event where a Roman Reigns match was on, I never once thought twice about picking the Tribal Chief, the head of the table.
Correct.
But right now, that video package, it's got me all messed up, man. They spent a lot of money and a lot of time doing that thing. We're in the UK. Drew McIntyre has been getting heated up forever. He had the bogus WWE Championship run during the no fan era. I mean, there's so many things that point to Drew. If Triple H wanted an escape from this McMahon storyline, this is an easy outdoor for him right now because it makes sense for Drew McIntyre to beat him. That being said, I'm taking Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that is probably the right pick because it's 2 years. WrestleMania is a big one coming up. I think, let's look at it this way. If the plan is to do The Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, you do not need Roman Reigns to be the champion. You probably don't want Roman Reigns to be the champion.
Correct.
If the plan is to do anything else, you probably want Roman Reigns to be the champion and have Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns.
That's what I'm saying. If you keep telling us that you think Cody's coming back in the Royal Rumble and he's going to enter the Royal Rumble as a surprise entrant and win it and then point up at WrestleMania, right? So I'm with you. If that's where we're going with the Rumble winner, then Roman's still got to be the champion. Here's my question, though, about the Usos, all right? Yeah. Are we sure the Usos can get to the UK? Because I'm fairly certain they couldn't get up into Canada. They couldn't get up into Canada. Are we sure they're going to be able to get into the UK?
Yeah, I don't know the rules of maybe Canada's worse than the UK on some of those rules. I don't know. And plus, there's like warrants and stuff out. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Like one of the Usos is a drunk driver, and you know what I mean. Like again, we don't talk about a lot of that stuff here on this podcast. But there's things you can find out about the Usos if you want to do some research online.
All that being said, I think McIntyre's going to win, and the place is going to blow up. It's going to be an amazing. I've up until today, I had Reigns winning, but seeing everything they're doing points to McIntyre winning this.
Yeah, but this would be the only time then, Jimmy, that they can give us a surprise Roman Reigns victory.
I think, and that would be fine too. I think they're going to go Reigns and Rock at Mania, and they don't need the title. They shouldn't have the title. It should just be Reigns and Rock. So I think that's what they're going to try to do.
Let me float this by you. I got to credit my guy, sweet Peter Rosenberg, former 24/7 champion of the WWE, host of Cheap Heat, guy that knows a little bit, right? Now, you always got to take what Rosenberg says with a grain of salt because he's still employed by the WWE, you know what I mean? So, but he floated an idea that I love. I don't know if it would happen because we're literally in the Roman Reigns, I don't want to wrestle all the time era, but he floated an idea. What if Roman kept both of the belts till WrestleMania and he literally fought on Saturday and Sunday night? One night versus Cody for one belt, one night versus Rock for the other belt. How cool would that be?
I'm good. I want one champ. It'd be cool. If they're going to go two champs, that's great. I want one champ.
So you don't think there's a scenario where we walk out of Clash at the Castle with the belts already split and Drew having one belt around his waist and Roman still having one?
I don't think so. There'd have to be a stip on that somehow, I would think. So,
I mean, it can't just be as simple as Adam Pearce, the most relevant WWE official in the world, just rolling out in the middle of the match and being like, "It's just been official." Yeah, that's all we need.
Well, no. So if this was 6 weeks ago, I would say Drew McIntyre gives Roman Reigns a belly-to-back suplex. All four of the shoulders are down. 1, 2, 3. Both people are pinned. So instead of doing a no contest, they split the belts. But I hope that doesn't happen.
Oh, man. See, this is what you really think is going to happen. You don't really think Drew's going to beat him. That's why I'm so surprised that you're going down on wax with Drew over Roman. I really am shocked by that, Jimmy.
I'm going for it. But anyway, speaking about going for it, we got to get out of here. But this has been a fun podcast here. We'll see what happens. We will definitely talk about Clash at the Castle results coming up next week. We have a 100th episode coming up that we're going to talk about over social media and give some people some ideas of what we're doing for that. We've got Balls and Brew. We've got the NFL. I think that's kind of a big deal. And anything else coming up?
We, the Mrs. Morganino and I are working on something that will be a complete antidote to all of the football that's out there for the next Morganino podcast. We are working on the greatest love songs of all time. So that'll be a little fun listen to be completely the other side of football and wrestling.
And with that, you've been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the Morgan You Know's podcasting network. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Rod.
I want to send a warning to my guy, Jimmy Smith, right now, all right? If I have to watch Clash at the Castle for a 20-minute banger between Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins and the whole entire match, you refer to him as Seth frickin' Rollins, I'm going to blow my top, Jimmy Smith. Figure it out before you get on the plane.
Oh, my Jesus!